one of the tested and trusted pathway for wealth, lasting wealth, is real estate.
Game of Money 2.0.
2.0.
Yes, we are still on the red carpet for Game of Money 2.0. And I'm here with the incredible, the phenomenal Femi Okanlawon. Good to have you join us for the Game of Money 2.0. How are you doing?
Thank you so much. I feel good. It's been a phenomenal conference
I agree.
and a gathering of very brilliant minds.
Amazing. So, a lot of young people these days prefer money over mentorship. I mean, they'll be like, take the money, I'll learn on the way, I'll make mistakes. That's what will build me. So, what's that advice, or what would you say to us to help us see the beauty in mentorship?
Well, I said to young people, it's important that they know there's several mistakes that they can avoid. That's a popular Yoruba saying. It's possible to, when you see an old person, to think that you can equal them, but you can't have as much old clothes as an old person.
Exactly. I agree.
But that said, I think that young people need a lot of mentorship these days. They need to know the how, they need to learn, they need to be patient, and they need to follow the process.
Follow the process.
Follow the process.
Follow the process. So, to be very honest, 70% of young people these days, if you give me 1 million naira, the first thing that will come to my mind is buying the latest iPhone or buying the latest designer, right? So, why should I invest in shares, stocks, real estate? I mean, I'm still young, I can live my life. That's the trading mentality with young people. So, what would you say to address this issue?
I would say to them they need to develop a mindset of delayed gratification. Just like Dr. Olumide said inside the room, I also believe every money that you make, there's a past, there's a present, and there's a future bit of that money. So imagine that someone handed you, one orange, and you're a farmer, and you take the orange, you squeeze out the juice, you take the juice, you also swallow all the seeds in the orange, you swallow everything, and then you expect that the next year you want more oranges. How would that happen? I mean, the analogy just says that inside that blessing, that fruit, there's some for you to consume, but there's another part for you to plant for the next year. So to young people, I'll say investment is very important. You should start with savings. And then when you save, the ultimate end point will be to invest it. I'll also say this to you. Please get on the property ladder as soon as you can. One of the tested and trusted pathway for wealth, lasting wealth, is real estate. You want to be able to show workings. Because there are many people who you see wealth around them and they cannot show working. They can't show how they got there. I can tell you for free. I bought a property in this neighborhood with a mortgage in 2007. I worked in Oceanic Bank with a gentleman who is here. Yes, we worked in Oceanic Bank together. I took a mortgage from EcoBank and I bought the property for 19.5 in 2007.
Wow.
It was sold last year for... Okay.
But the appreciation rate must have to your head.
It was sold, 10x, more than 10x.
And giving the example with the orange, I feel like that's why most young people struggle when they want to settle down. So I mean, they've lived their life and now they're not ready to settle down. They're not looking for money, hustling for money, trying to find money by all means, and then they get involved in so many things. So you head right from Guru as a genius himself. Invest in property, invest in real estate.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Give it like 5-10 years. Don't be in a hurry. Just be consistent, Be consistent. Be consistent.
Be patient and be consistent. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
It's